welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and for those of you who are new, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. Here on my channel, I do planner and planner related videos, DIY tutorial videos, as well as videos on new releases to my Etsy shop. And if that is of interest to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you hit that little notification bell, you'll always be notified of when I do load a new video. And if you could also comment, like, and share, that would be amazing. So this pile of stuff are all of my happy notes, and actually that's a lie. All right, this is all of my happy notes. Quite a few of them are DIYs I've made myself. What I thought I'd cover in my video today are 15 ways that you can utilize the various sizes of Happy Planner Happy Notes. So let me put this all to the side so that we can actually get some semblance of order, and I'll be right back. Right, the first way you can use your Happy Planner Happy Notes is what I've done in this one, and I do have a video below where I have just punched and disc bound some calligraphy and lettering workbooks that I had on hand, and that way it's easier to not only work in it, but to take it out and work on it. And then in this back section, I actually have started working on some of my lettering strokes because this, one of the viewers on the video where I did this, and I will put her name here on the screen because I didn't write it down before I started filming, she suggested that it's easier to work on the individual strokes that make up the letters versus trying to work on the letters because you can get some muscle memory in it. And I actually have to agree that as I progress down the line, it does, I mean, it still feels a little bit awkward, but it does feel a little less awkward than when I started. And then stuff like this, when you're working on the upstroke, it really gives you an idea of what kind of pressure to use. So that would be the first way that you can use your Happy Notes, and this is the big size, so 8.5 by 11. The next way that you can use your Happy Notes, and this is in the mini size on the disc. Now I did make this one, but I believe there are mini Happy Notes as well as, I believe, mini Happy Notes journals. This one I use when I am editing my videos, and then I'll actually come in here and I'll write, okay, so who do I need to thank? Are there any affiliate links that I need to include? Do I need to link any videos? And did I reference anyone here on YouTube or Instagram? Do I need to link their channels? And that way my description boxes can be as up to date as I can make it, because some of them I import from previous videos, but then I do customize each individual description box video because depending on where you are in your journey with me, you may not, have seen any of the other videos, and so I just keep it here. Now I also do this in another one that I'll be showing you, but this one, if I'm editing in bed, this is easier to work with than the other one. And then here I do just have some washi samplers, and this really was more so not because I wanted to have a sampler of my washi, but I had shown these in a haul that I did, and then I stuck them back on the roll, but they were lifting and I didn't want to waste them, so I just wanted to put them down so that, and I'm thinking about this is actually going to be more than 15 ways, but we've got 15 books, so it's going to be at least 15 ways to use your Happy Planner Happy Notes. So video notes and washi samplers in your Happy Notes would definitely be an interesting way and a useful way to use your product. Is a half sheet Happy Notes. Is for me, I'm going to be utilizing this in two ways. So I will be using this for layout ideas, and whether it's layout by way of placement of stickers or whether it's layout on how to make an actual weekly layout in a new way, that's where it's going to be where housed, and whether I use this or just use this as inspiration remains to be seen. And then in this back section, since I already did a pen test in here, I will continue, if I do pick up new pens, to do pen tests in here as well, and then just house them all in one place. So if I do need to reference pens that I have, and because I have quite a bit of pens, I might actually go back and fill that in as well. I just like having it in one place just in case I need to look at when I received it, the colors and things like that. So that's definitely another way that you can use your Happy Notes. Now this is, well, this cover was gifted to me by Christy of Christy's Plans, and this is in the micro sized. So I made this, but they do have micro Happy Notes where it's on the 4-disc system. I don't have access to them here in Hawaii, but that's okay. I made my own, and I do have a tutorial on how I made this. Mine measures 4 1/8 by 3 1/2, and then it's just punched on the 4-disc style. It's actually upside down. And my idea for this was, I thought this would be a great idea to use if you are testing, whether you're in school or whether your kids are in school, as a flash note kind of system. So here I just have washied on a little piece of paper. This is a Hawaiian word, it's hale. And then on the inside, again, I've got it washied down so it's reusable on what that actually means. So again, whether you are in high school or in college, whether your kids are in elementary or, you know, grade school age or just school age, this would be a great way to use that, utilize some of your off-cut materials. And it's, I think, because you have to open it up, it just sort of builds that mental memory of what things mean. But that's another way that you can use your Happy Planner Happy Notes. And again, this is in the micro size. This one I actually made, and I will be having a tutorial coming up within the next few weeks, definitely, on my Happy Planner Happynichi MIDI, M-I-D-I, because this is on a 5-disc system. I do have a video on this, so I will link that below. Any of the ones that I have mentioned so far, all of those videos will be listed below. This I am considering a Happynichi because this is based on the Hobonichi Techo style, where it is done on a weekly basis. Now this first month that I did the, you know, monthly overview, the cover page, and then I went into some just daily time tracking, some food tracking, some, you know, what I was doing by way of Etsy or YouTube or whatever, a little bit of doodling, and then just a little bit of journaling. I didn't start this until May 17th, and I actually don't do this every day. I'd like to, but some days it's not going to happen. So I did up through, and I got my days in May mixed up. So May went through the 28th. June I did the cover page because this is really quick, and then started on the 23rd. Again, doing some time tracking, which is very reminiscent of the Techo Hobonichi. And then again, doing some doodles, time tracking. And because I'm doing this a day or two, I will only do a day or two worth of stickers. In fact, I just usually do it the day I'm doing it. It's really easy to set up. And that way, if for any reason I work on it and then I don't work on it, I'm not wasting any pages, and I'm not, you know, holding myself, because while I enjoy this, I don't want this to be a chore. So if the last time I worked on it was the 7th, and then not again until the 14th, today is the 21st, haven't worked on it yet, that's okay. This is supposed to be available when I'm ready for it versus being just another thing that I have to do. So that's definitely an idea for a Happy Planner Happy Notes. Now I put in here because I think this size is convenient, but you certainly could do this style in a mini, you could do it in a classic, you could even do it in a micro. I just like that it was on a 5-disc system. Now this actually, this is in the half sheet Happy Notes size, but this is actually just a completely binder system, disc system of just blank Happy note pages just to keep in one place. These are expander discs, and this is really I'm not utilizing, but I am keeping this in one contained section. So if I need to add some notes to one of my classics or my big, or to my Happynichi, I can just pull it out of here, and from a storage perspective, it's really functional. And for a useful perspective, and I can see the different segments here, plus some note paper that I have back here. Oh, like, where did I get that? For this weekly plans one, it actually came with this aqua weekly plan section, but then it also came with the pink notebook lined section. So that's all in here for me to use at a later date. So that's one usage. You can just put it all together as a storage system for your happy notes to use, at a future date. This is a Happy Notes classic sized, and I did pick this up in a recent Joann's haul. I love this because I live in Hawaii, and so this is something that I can actually use all year. I know for some of you on the mainland, come fall and winter, this is not going to be really your reality, although you may want to look at this if you are dealing with a bit of, cold weather. But what I plan to use this for is to warehouse just some watercolor drawings. Happy Planner paper is thicker than regular copier paper, but it is certainly not watercolor weight. But although there is a little bit of buckling and there certainly is texture, because I store all these on top of each other, it does keep it relatively flat, and I just like it on the disc system because when I work on it, I can take it off and then put it back on, and it's there. And it doesn't bother me that these are not exactly corresponding with this. I don't actually really see it unless I'm focusing on it. So this is what I'm going to be utilizing just to play with some watercolors if I have an urge to play with watercolors and I don't necessarily want to put it in any of my other planners. So this is another way that you can use your Happy Planner Happy Notes. Now again, this is one of my DIY projects, and if you were to take a classic page and you were to take a half sheet page, just to show you some sizes. Because my Happynichi, when I originally made it, I had to make it myself because I don't have access to those Happy Note half sheet notebooks. What I was doing was cutting a big Happy Note page to get two pieces. But if you use a classic, then you'll actually get the Happy Note size, as well as, maybe you can see that better, this little offcut, and that's what I made this one here with, just because I didn't want to get rid of it. I don't like wasting this paper because it is more expensive than just regular note paper, and it is good quality paper. So I created my Commonplace Journal out of this, and this is something that I also have a playlist for. It will be linked below. And what I do is every week before I start filming, I come in here and write something inspirational or something that caught my eye. I do more and more something creative in here. This really made me think, and this was the most recent spread that I did, and it just really gets me in a creative mood. It gets me in a happy mood. It gets me in an inspired mood, so that when I do my bulk filming on the weekends, I can maintain some of that mentality, versus I usually start, because right after this I'm usually working on my budget videos, and that doesn't always keep me inspired. So this is another way that you can use a Happy Planner Happy Notes book. Again, I made this custom for myself, but you can certainly do this in a micro, in a mini, in the half sheet, in the classic, or even the big. I mean, really, It's whatever size you want to use it for, and that will go for any of the ones that I've talked to you before, with the exception maybe of the flashcard one. I would think you'd want to keep that small just because you wouldn't want a huge flash note thing unless you were doing actual, you know, what is the Gettysburg Address and you needed more space, then yeah, that would certainly make sense. But if you're just doing like a word memory thing, I would certainly stick to the smaller one. The next way you can use a Happy Planner, Happy Notes is by creating your own budget system. Now this is again, DIY that I've done. This cover is a file folder with Happy Planner stickers on Happy Planner discs. Ooh. These are dividers that are typically, or that are made for the ring bound system. They're actually longer than this and a little bit wider, that I just cut down and punched. This is a calendar that I bought from Walmart. It's supposed to be a hanging calendar, but because of the size, I was able to get a monthly overview in my Happy Notes. And this is the classic size. It is on the 9 discs. And then I have some Erin Condren paper that I just ripped out and punched because I love the quality of the paper. And then as you can see in some of the spreads, I also have some Happy Planner paper that I use to make various trackers. And this here, I do need to update, but this is my cash envelope and sinking funds detail sheet so that I have a year overview of things that I might need to purchase or that I have already on stock. And so you can utilize yours if you didn't want to buy the Happy Planner budget system. And if you have just various materials at home, you can actually make yours where you are making your budget system work in the way that you would like it to work. So this is what I've done in mine. And going forward, I don't know if I'll do all of this layout by hand. I might just make this in a PDF version. I do have a blog, and some of these are already in a PDF version, so definitely check that out. But because I like the way that it looks, I've been stubborn and continuing to do this. But going forward, it's really time consuming, so I just might utilize some of my own PDFs. But it's definitely a way that you can use your Happy Planner, Happy Notes, whether it's in the big, classic, mini, or the half sheet. Again, with the micro, depending on what it is that you're tracking, it just might be too small, but that certainly is your decision. You are the CEO of your Happy Notes. Now this one I've only featured once, and this is my recipe DIY Happy Notes. Again, I can actually get these. I can order these. I think I've seen them on Amazon. I certainly have seen them on Joann's, but none of the covers really spoke to me. So all I did was, oh, more stickers. I picked up the recipe paper in my original Joann's haul, because I think it was like $3 or $4. It does come in 4 different colorways, and then I just put this together on discs that I had. These dividers are just some heavyweight cardstock, and then, as I like to do, this is laminated, a file folder with some stickers I had on hand. And so I have my own custom DIY recipe book, and I really need to get back in here and do some videos on this, but you know, if you've been here for a minute, you know it's just really a timing issue. But this is another way that you can utilize your Happy Notes, because I've seen Terry from Home with Feisty, where she just used Happy Note paper and she just writes it out where she has the ingredients and she decorates. Kelly from Inside Hope 99, she does hers in a half sheet and she just, you know, zhuzhes it up with stickers and makes it really pretty, and then she writes down the actual recipe. So if you have these, certainly you can make your own system, or you can buy one of those pre-made recipe books, but you can also just make your own recipe pages and keep it on the disc system, because I cannot stress my absolute love for the ability to take it off, work on it, and then put it back. Now if I were actually using this in the kitchen, what I might do is put this in one of those page protectors so that it doesn't get wet or anything. Take it out of the page protector when I'm done using it in the kitchen, and then putting it right back in here just so that my recipe doesn't get dirty. Although we do have some recipes here that have been worn through time, and it just adds some extra character. But this is another way that you can use your Happy Planner Happy Notes. Happy Planner Happy Notes is in my obsession of the Happynichi, Hobonichi, all the nichis, where you use the half sheet and you create your own planner system. And so again, if you've been here for a while, you know that I have this set up where this first section, well, okay, let me backtrack. I've made this entire thing. I've mentioned I can't get these half sheet Happy Notes here in Hawaii. So this Traveler's Notebook style cover is something that I've made. I do have similar items in my Etsy shop, not this particular pattern, and I also have a tutorial on how to make your own because I do throw this in my purse. I want to protect my Happynichi. These are rings I had on hand. This is a big Happy Planner Happy Notes cover that I cut down, and I added the sticker there. This is one of the divider pages from that Happy Notes. These are some old divider pages that I had that I just covered with some coloring pages that I had on hand, glued them down, and then punched them, and I do have a video, and I will link that below. And this first section is just my traditional planner section where I have a week at a glance, I have a month at a glance, and then I have some side here. And because my original intent was to mirror the Hobonichi, which I wanted, but I didn't like that it wasn't on the discs. The first few layouts here are done in that style where you have your week at a glance on the left, and then you just do whatever on the right. But then that was only the first 2 weeks. This is in a horizontal style, and this is in the dashboard style. And the beauty of a Happynichi, Hobonichi, but really the beauty of a planner system that you are making yourself on the discs is you can make it whatever layout you want because you literally have to create it yourself. So this is done in the Hobonichi horizontal, but on 2 pages. Again, I've got a cover page, monthly overview, very traditional in planner style. This is sort of a breakdown of the dashboard layout, but again on 2 pages. This is a vertical layout on 2 pages. These are some experiments I did with a stencil that I had made myself. Again, stencils that I had made myself, monthly overview, or no, monthly cover page as well as monthly overview. This is some experimenting that we had done in some of my layout videos, which continues in here with a Dutch door system. Now, in order for it to look seamless, that really should go up there, but it doesn't really matter. It comes in and out. And we had done some strawberries. It was a busy week at work and after work, so it was a very light week in actual planning. This is the week that we're going to come into now. This was inspired by Tamika, where it's sort of a Hobonichi style where you've got most of your week on 1 page, but then she had changed up a little bit where she put her weekend in 1 big box on the 2nd page. And then the second section is for social media and business, and the way that I track that is not traditional planning. So I do have 4 months at a glance because I do want to project out things that I need to do for both my YouTube and my Etsy shop. I do a monthly overview because I can start looking at the different videos that I'd like to do, and then I track it based on individual categories. There is no weekly or monthly here. It's just done on a weekly basis. So for this week, these are the things that I have either done or would like to do, and I just sort of carry that over for whatever weeks there are of the month. Now I would like to do a just a cover page before getting into the monthly overview, and I'm hoping I can remember to do that coming into August. But again, this helps me map out what my schedule will be on the weekends when I film, as well as some of the things I'd like to complete. Instead of doing currently pages, I've thought about doing this here where I'm listing ideas and listings that I've actually done. And then again, we're getting back into the categories of the various things that I am tracking. And so that's yet another way that you can use your Happy Planner, Happy Notes. Now I do have a section for this. Well, no. I guess I can show you. Another way that you can use your Happy Planner, Happy Notes, again, whatever size you have or want to use, is you can do some trackers. So I do track Instagram and YouTube. I do have the 52-day challenge that Sherry started. I've got the listing of all of the people that I note or I made a video on for that challenge. I've yet to write anything down here. I do have some ideas, and I did have a wonderful comment by one of my subscribers who gave me some ideas for that, so that's something I'll be working on. And then I also created some additional trackers here for challenges, giveaways, and then more YouTube tracking here. Now this tracker section, I do plan to do some personal trackers. I've never got around to it because if I have some extra time at night, I'm typically working on things for my shop versus, working on personal things for myself. For this idea section, I have started a little bit. I do have it actually in a different folder, or a different Happy Notes, but I haven't migrated it over. So this is also a work in progress. And then another way that you can use your Happy Planner, Happy Notes is to keep important information by way of, in this section, I have the monthly bills that I pay, as well as some important confidential information. And because this is always with me, I can keep that secure, but also I have it when I need it. Another way you can use your Happy Planner, Happy Notes is in this one, and this is what I picked up in my Walmart haul, and I love this one. I think this is so pretty. I'm doing some doodling, and this is from Llama Letters, and I will link her Instagram page because that's where she usually puts her challenges. And what she does is she does a monthly lettering challenge as well as a random doodle challenge. Now this was her challenge in June. I'm working on it this month. I like to play around, I like to do some doodling, and I like to test out some different lettering styles. Some of these are just too much to do on a daily basis, but it is fun to look at, so I will be continuing that. I did do this little tip in here just so I can always have the listings next to me, and because I'm not doing it in the month that she's doing it, I'm not constrained by every day I need to do this. It's just really, eventually I like to do all of these things on the 2 pages. And I will continue to do that throughout this first section of this planner. And then here, it's something that I started on where I was inspired by Kelly of Insight Hope 99, and I'll link her channel below, where she does some journal type entries, but they're based on poems that she's read or that she's seen on Instagram, where she just puts that in her Happy Notes. And I love that idea. I don't read poetry, and I think it's mostly because when I hear poem, I think it has to rhyme, which it absolutely does not. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this section for some movie quotes collections that I really like. And it's not even so much movie quotes as it is movie passages, because the first one I want to work on is the Invictus poem by William Ernest Henley back in 1875, and the only reason I know about this is because of the Matt Damon and Morgan Freeman movie of the same name, Invictus, about the South African rugby team. And yeah, I love that, especially because Morgan Freeman is saying it in the Morgan Freeman voice, and it's like, oh, that's so beautiful. So eventually that will make its way into here. here. And then this back section is just some things that I've done in the past where I compared Happy Planner and Walmart sticker sizes to each other, just in case you were wondering how they stacked up, and I will link that video below. My description box is going to be huge. And then I had asked Christy to do a video, and she is Christy of Christy's Plans, and so when I watched the video, basically I wanted to see how she does her layering and how she does her planning when she's working in her planners, and so I took some very detailed notes. One, because I wanted to really commemorate the fact that she, took the time to do that for me, but also sometimes I get lost in the design element, and this helps me refer back to it. So like some of my video notes, I probably won't keep that. I don't need to because I can just look in the description box, but something like this that I do plan to refer back to, I will keep in this planner here. And that's what I'm using for this third section of this Happy Notes. And the final Happy Notes that I have is another DIY project that I have done. So at the time, I could not source any of the classic sized Happy Notes here in Hawaii. I can now. They do carry a few of them in Walmart, and I think it might only be for the school back to school release section, because there's two sections in my Walmart where you can find Happy Planner items. One is in the back to school aisles where it has all of the school supplies, and then one is in the regular stationery aisle. They don't have any of the Happy Notes there, so I'm thinking once the back to school is done, then they won't carry the Happy Notes, which is, kind of sad, but I do have enough. Clearly I have enough. So this one, I did make the cover. It is not laminated. I used contact paper. And again, I have a video on that, so I'll link that below. And this one I just keep, if I'm editing videos at my desk here, and I will work in either this one to do video notes, or I'll work in the mini. But this one just has different notes. And when I'm done with the page, because I don't like to write, and I know I could do this, but I don't like this here, then I will just flip it around and then use the other side of the page. And that way I get my money's worth, because as I've mentioned previously, these are more expensive than just a regular dollar notebook. Pieces that I had, and then this just stores some of the paper that I have collected in the classic size. So this is both a notebook, because obviously with a Happy Notes notebook you can take notes in it, but this is just a storage for some of the spare paper that I had bought, just the paper, and that wasn't in any kind of classic notebook style. But this is the very last one of all of the different Happy Notes. Now the reason I wanted to do this, and I probably should have started with this, is I love paper, I love stationery, I love pens, and I don't necessarily feel that every single Happy Notes should have a function. Every single planner should have a function. Sometimes some of the ones that I buy multiples of, it wasn't because I wanted the Happy Note system itself. I wanted the cover or the paper, and it was cheaper than buying those things separately. So I just wanted to put a video out there so that if you have multiples of different Happy Notes from Happy Planner, then you can maybe look at your materials in a little bit different way. But then also, if you have other ideas on how you use your Happy Notes that I didn't cover in this video, definitely leave me a comment below, because I'm very interested. I have several Happy Planner Happy Notes in various sizes, and I am always willing to make my own if I can't get the style or the dimensions that I want. I'll just create whatever size I need to. So long as it's on the discs, I'm perfectly happy with it. But again, guys, let me know what you think below. Let me know what you use your Happy Notes for. I hope this was useful to someone. And as always, aloha.